Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video with another Marvel Legends action figure review, and today we're looking at the Spider-Man Retro Collection VHS 2-pack of Spider-Man versus the Vulture. Here's the side of the box. Here's a look at the side art. More art by Harry Moore. Love his artwork. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, his feet. There is a crease right there in the middle of the foot, and I love that little small detail going up. Yeah, he's not like super muscular like of other Marvel Legends figures. He is very lean though, and I think that is important because he switches between his young and old version. It makes the transition more believable. I can't tell if these legs are reused from something. I want to say they aren't. I want to say they're brand new, but I could be wrong. I think he gets some bands going around his thighs. This one has some canisters, and I love the glossiness of them. Paint is kind of missing here and there, but it's not like too noticeable. That goes all the way around. But they really added some shadowing to his butt crack. What the hell? Every other crevice for his muscles all throughout the rest of the suit. It's just like his butt too? Really? Looking at his belt, it is a very flat, bright green color, and it also has those yellow canisters. This one being a bit smaller, but still having that same yellow glossy paint. This torso definitely feels like it is reuse. I just don't know where it's from. It could be brand new as well. I am not entirely sure. Inside the abs, it's all painted in like a sort of black color, just some more shadowing, just to make those features pop out even more. And it's sort of the same on the back as well. The metallic green looks awesome, super reflective, especially in this lighting, and I love the segments in the armor up front. I haven't seen the show in ages. I can't remember what this exactly was. The shoulder pads are sculpted very wonderfully as well. It is molded in a gold plastic, unlike these pieces which are painted in. They actually like kind of match up really well. This one's a little brighter though. Now going down the arms, oh man, I am not sure if these are reuse or not. I know the other Vulture figures used like the Pizza Spider-Man arms, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure where these arms come from. Maybe Falcon. Going down to his arms, those gauntlets with the gloves. Ooh, yeah, I love the pattern they put in right here on the wrist and on the underside, how it like dips in and comes back out. That hand though, ooh yeah, that looks great. Love the different segments in the fingers and the claws at the end, those talons. Yeah, just looking really awesome. And both pieces are molded in that metallic green plastic. And you have his skin showing, and I think that is just a wonderful touch. I don't know. I think it just looks really cool, especially for Vulture here. He's obviously like younger, so he's wanting to flaunt some skin, maybe just show off a little. It goes to show like the personality of this character. All right, let's move up to the accessories, starting with the young head sculpt. Yeah, this head sculpt looks great. I love the printing they did on it. It looks very lifelike while also being very animated, and I love the hair too, the sculpt of it, and how it just like brushes back to almost bird-like, and the back of the hair just sticking out through the bottom. Ooh, yeah, and it just like moves with the head as well. And he also comes with the older Adrian Toomes head sculpt. This one is very sad to look at. He's just like, oh man, I'm old again. I remember the presenters at PulseCon like explained that they wanted to include an old version of Vulture for this 2-pack just so it didn't like confuse collectors. Bald. Ooh, I love the paint within the wrinkles of his skin, and the eyes look great. Very lifelike and animated, just like the previous one. And the most important accessory of all, his wings. These are actually like a light blue. It's sort of a mix between green and blue, but it's leaning more towards blue. It's translucent, very reflective, very shiny. You could see like all the feathers are just like sculpted up top here. These are the same exact wings as the other Vulture figure that came out. These ones, the ones that came with the classic one, which I'll show off during the size comparison. He comes with those aforementioned clawed hands and 2 fisted hands. These also have those segments from the clawed hands, just without the talons. Oh, you could kind of see it with the thumb right there. Now going over articulation, the bald head is able to look up this much. Don't stop focusing on Seth. Stop. As I was saying, the bald head is able to look up this much and look down that much. It also has some pivot to it and side-to-side movement. And now for the young head sculpt, it's able to look up that much and go down that much. He also has a tiny bit of pivot and some side-to-side movement. His arm is able to move up this much, and it also has rotation at the shoulder, upper bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and your standard wrist hinge, allowing his hand to move up, down, and then all the way around. With his ab crunch, he's able to move this far back and this far forward. He also has a waist swivel, allowing his body to move side to side, and his leg is able to kick up this much, go out to the side that much, and go back just a tiny bit. He has upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee that allows his leg to move this far back, and his foot is able to move this far down, a tiny bit up, and he has some Now going over size comparisons, here is Vulture next to Amazing Friends Spider-Man and Cell Shaded Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man, Classic Vulture and Ultimate Vulture. Oh geez, those paint chips. Ugh, that's so embarrassing. Which one do I like the most? I like them all equally. Aunt May and Mary Jane Watson, Peter Parker and Black Cat, The Prowler and Venom, Scorpion and Hydro Man, Mysterio and Kraven the Hunter, Electro and Sandman, Doc Ock and Mysterio, Kingpin and Rhino, Doctor Strange and Daredevil, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Gary and CT4279, Grogu and Sad Freaking Rollins, and finally Jeff the Landshark and Spider Ham. Let's go over the sculpt and paint apps first, starting with the feet. This is on the Sunfire body mold, so you're not going to get a whole ton of innovation. These are the same feet that came out all those years ago, same shins. I will say though, the web lines are painted on very nicely. There aren't really any paint issues. This is a big difference that we see between the old Sunfire body mold and this newer version. We have the pinless knees, and it's the same with the arms, but we'll get to that. Already looking a whole lot better, as the Sunfire one had these giant pegs sticking out. So yeah, this looks pretty good. I will say though, the web lines are painted on very nicely. Oh, we'll get to that. Anyways, the muscles in each of the crevices, same as Vulture, painted in, lots of shadowing. It makes the figure pop out even more. It sort of blends the realm of like being animated while also looking lifelike. But again, it's shadowing in the butt. I'm kind of indifferent on it. I don't know how to feel about them shadowing in the butt crack. It's just funny to me. This red is painted on top of the blue, but none of the blue is shining through. And as we continue up to the torso, yeah, I think this is where a lot of people drew the line, is because it's just, we have a lot better molds. However, I think this is actually pretty perfect for this version of Spider-Man. Let me move you to the side. The last version of the animated Spider-Man, you could see his foot off to the side already. I ruined the surprise. Yeah, I'll just cut to it. This guy, the Walmart exclusive cell shaded retro collection Spider-Man, and I always thought that the body they used for this figure was way too small. It just like, look at this. As good as the articulation is for this body, it is phenomenal. It just always felt too small for this version of Peter Parker. He's all grown up. He's in college. So like, it would make sense for him to just be bigger. Ooh. I uploaded a short, and in it someone did not like the peg hole in the back. They were not a fan. And I gotta say, me too. I'm not a huge fan of it either. Why is it there? It serves no purpose. It's just a big giant hole there. It's very distracting. It looks hideous. Now continuing up, and this was another source of contention with fans. They didn't like how the lines sort of stopped around the symbol. I can't say off the top of my memory if I remember it looking like this in the show. It doesn't really bother me that much. I think the logo looks fantastic though. Same on the back. Really wish that hole was in there. Grrr. The lines all super crisp all throughout. It's not until we get to the arms, again, pinless, looks great. And you continue down and all the web lines look fine. It's just on mine, it's a little uneven there, as I may have pointed out earlier.
I will say though, the Web lines are painted on very nicely. The web lines are painted on very nicely.
With those butterfly shoulder joints, the detailing continues whenever you move it back. You can see the web lines, and on the back, that symbol. All right, let's go through the accessories, starting with the masked head sculpt. I think it looks great. It is a bit wider than the Walmart exclusive. I love the pronounced features of the nose. You can kind of see a dip for the mouth, and then it goes back out for the chin. And the eyes just being a little more curvy than usual. I just like it. It's just really cool looking. Paint apps for the web lines are all super crisp as well. He also comes with an unmasked Peter Parker head sculpt. Yeah, looks fine. Now, this is funny. This is what I love to see from the Marvel Legends team when they just include just random accessories just for the hell of it. This head sculpt belongs to Flash Thompson, as we all know, one of Peter Parker's bullies from high school and a recurring character throughout the Spider-Man animated series. I think he even showed up in X-Men 97. He was just like in the background. There was an episode where he dressed up like Spider-Man and got confused for the real Spider-Man, was kidnapped. He also comes with 2 open sea grip hands, which are both good for holding his mask accessory, which he's able to hold in his hand. And I think this is a wonderful touch for whenever you're using the Flash Thompson or Peter Parker head. He also comes with 2 web flipping hands and 2 fisted hands. Now going over articulation, the head is able to move up this much and look down that much. He really has no pivot, but he does have side-to-side movement. His arm is able to move up this much. It's able to move back that far and move forward this far. He has rotation at the shoulder, an upper bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and he has a standard wrist hinge, allowing his hand to move up, down, all the way around. With his ab crunch, he's able to bend this far back and a tiny bit forward. He has a waist swivel, and his leg is able to kick out this much, go out to the side that much, and go back a tiny bit. He has upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee that's able to bend back this much. He has upper calf rotation, and his foot is able to move this far down, this far up. Now going over size comparisons, here is Spider-Man next to Amazing Friends Spider-Man and this cel-shaded Spider-Man. Renew Your Vows Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man. Classic Vulture and Ultimates Vulture. Again, please ignore the paint chips. Ugh, so embarrassing. Aunt May and Mary Jane Watson. Peter Parker and Black Cat. The Prowler and Venom. Scorpion and Hydro Man. Morbius and Alistair Smythe. Mysterio and Kraven the Hunter. Electro and Sandman. Doc Ock and Mysterio. Kingpin and Rhino. Doctor Strange and Daredevil. Here's Spidey and Vulture side by side. Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Gary and CT4279, Grogu and Sad Freakin' Rollins, and finally Jeff the Landshark and Spider Ham. All right, time for my final rating and my overall thoughts. I think I'm going to give Vulture here a final rating of 9 out of 10. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I was really pleasantly surprised by just how well made this figure is. The intricacies of like the paint apps, how they're shading within the muscles, and just how wonderful the metallic green looks. The whole suit looks amazing. I love that color. It's so unique. It's truly magnificent, and I love the wings. Despite them being reused from the classic Vulture, I think the blue translucent plastic helps set it apart from its predecessors. And of course, those head sculpts look phenomenal. If I had to make one complaint about the Vulture, is that I kind of wish it had a butterfly shoulder joint, much like the classic version. It really helped out with flight poses. But yeah, really, other than that, I have no complaints whatsoever. 9 out of 10. And now moving on to Spider-Man, the star of the 2-pack, I guess. I'm going to rate this Spider-Man figure an 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, it's not as strong as it could have been. It could have been so much better if it was on like a newer mold. However, I do like the musculature of it. The overall build is more in tune with the animated series than the Amazing Fantasy body ever was. I feel like the only way they would be able to replicate that is with the Renew Your Vows mold, which they definitely should have gone with. But even that one has like a smaller torso. Again, guys, you got to remember, he was he was freaking built in the show. So I guess this is like the closest mold they had on standby. The accessories that he comes with, the unmasked heads, the Flash Thompson head especially, is a fantastic addition. It's just a really well-rounded figure, just like held down by its dated body mold. Overall, I think the pros for this figure heavily outweigh the cons. It's a very fun figure to pose around, and it looks really decent as well. So yeah, I'm gonna give him an 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. Please let me know in the comment section below what you would rate these figures on a scale of 1 to 10. I would love to see your guys' opinions. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, share with a friend. Anything you can do to support the channel will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye. The metallic green looks fantastic. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this guy is a real pretty boy. Ooh, that sounded weird. Gary, and I don't know. I think I'm just speaking nonsense at this point. I'm trying to get the runtime over 10 minutes.